and welcome to another edition of Almost Martha. Oh my goodness, it is such a beautiful day, such a beautiful day. We're going to have friends over for dinner tonight, and I wanted to make a nice special dessert. And I have this recipe that I got from Southern Living magazine. Southern Living, love it, love it. And this is a recipe for little mini Grand Marnier cakes. So you don't have to slice a big cake with somebody going, I just want a little piece. Now you just have all of these little mini cakes that are beautiful. I got a great pan from Williams-Sonoma to bake them in. I'm so excited. They're going to be beautiful. And then, of course, we're going to finish them with a little dollop of whipped cream. So, oh, it's going to be so good. So, so good. So hold on. Gorgeous day, fabulous dessert, dinner with friends. What could be better, really? So hang on and we'll make this together. Okay, here we go. I'm going to get my little teaspoons out. Oh, here I already have it all settled. And we're going to start with 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Then we're going to have 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So 1.5 teaspoons. It seems like a lot, but that's what it asks for. So there's 1, and let me get my half, 1.5. Okay. Now I need 1 teaspoon, let me get that back, of baking soda. Not ready for a new box. That was shy, just a tad. There we go. Okay. So that is baking soda, baking powder, and then usually in this line, the next thing we add is salt. And this, of course, is a small amount. So this is just 1/4 teaspoon. So I'm just going to kind of put it in here, level it off, and in it goes. Now we're just going to mix this together so it's all mixed properly. Okay, and then our flour mixture will be ready when we're ready for it. Okay, so did that. Now I'm just gonna put that to the side for now. We'll sweep up this salt a little later. Baking's messy, baking's messy. Okay, there we go. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cream some butter and sugar. Oops, we're gonna cream some butter and sugar together. Always make sure you put your mixer together properly. Okay, there we go. Now it's in there. So 1 cup of butter. And I have to say, you know me, your butter matters. The better the butter, the better the dish. So I go to Costco, and at Costco, I buy fabulous Irish butter. So that's what we're going to put in our dish. I'm just going to put it right in the mixer. There's all kinds of butters out there now, but butter is where it's at, baby. There's French butter, there's Irish butter, but I like this because I can buy it at Costco, which means it's a little more affordable. So I use Kerrygold. It is the popular butter right now because it's really delicious, really delicious. Okay, now I'm gonna raise my mixer, and I'm gonna start putting in some sugar. Here I have 1.25 cups of granulated sugar. Okay. All right, now let it cream away. Just add the sugar in a little bit at a time. And one thing really nice about really good butter is that it creams really, really well. Oh, it's super creamy. Even when you just take it out of the refrigerator, it's going to be softer than most other butter that you buy because of the quality of the butter. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to prepare some eggs. If you've ever watched me, you know that I don't add eggs directly in because I'm just so afraid I'll get a piece of shell in there. So I do my eggs on the side and I add my eggs in separately. Every egg is different. Some shells are hard, some shells are soft. You really have no idea what you're going to get. So it's best to be safe. There we go. The dogs are very excited. They love having company. They can always tell when we're having company. It's very funny. But they enjoy it. Okay, that's creamed together very nicely. So we will move on to the next step. Okay, this is going to cream for about 4 to 5 minutes. We want it to be light and fluffy. So while that is creaming, I'm going to zest this orange. So we need about 2 tablespoons of orange zest. That may be exactly what we get from this orange. So while that is creaming, zest your orange. And then the next step we're going to do with this orange is we're going to juice it because we want the juice out of it as well. And remember, as it's doing its work here, just kind of go in, wipe it down. You don't want anything to be stuck in the very bottom. So you want it all to be nice and creamed together. And just keep it going. Okay. So I think it's gonna require 2 because these are relatively smaller oranges. So I'm gonna zest a little more. So now I'm going to slice this up and I'm just gonna juice this real quick. Boy, this is one juicy orange. I got him at the fruit market yesterday and he gave me a taste and boy, ooh, was it good. So isn't it great when fruits and vegetables are coming back in season? Oh, love it, love it, love it. And things are lovely, lovely, lovely. So this is a little smaller than most oranges. It's more of a mandarin, right? So I'm just going to squeeze 1.5 to make like a normal big orange. Okay. And there we go. And there we go. Now we've got some beautiful juice. Beautiful juice. Remove that lid. And you actually might want to strain it because you don't want pulp to be in here. So enjoy looking at the top of my head as I talk to you. But you want it to be kind of nice and clean. So take a little strainer and then just pour this through it. So you've got nice clear juice that you're working with. Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. We can save this for later and we might put some of these little sections just on top of the cakes to garnish. We'll see how that goes. I also have a container of sour cream. So it calls for 1 cup sour cream. So that's 8 ounces. So that's one of these little containers of sour cream. I'm going to use that. So I'm taking my flour mixture and I'm going to add just a little bit. Now I need to alternate my ingredients. So I'm going to alternate the flour with the sour cream. Dollop in there. Maybe a little more. So just keep alternating the two. And once it gets a little mixed up, that's when you can go in and add your dollop of sour cream. Get it all in there. Get it all. There we go. Okay. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. So the next thing we're going to add is the orange zest. This is some wet zest, I have to tell you. Usually I'm zesting lemons, and boy, never this wet. So in goes the orange zest. I also have about a half cup of toasted almonds. So the recipe called for blanched almonds. I really don't care for them. So I just have almond slices that I have toasted, and that goes right in the batter. Now I'm making these little mini cakes, but you could also put this in a bundt pan. You could use it like a little mini bundt pan. So there's a few different ways you can use this batter. But I want to be able to use this for our English tea, so I may make a couple of pans worth of, the little mini ones. Okay, need just a little more. Something in there is not getting to the bottom, so don't tell nobody. Okay, that looks great. That looks great. So I'm going to move that orange juice. I'm going to get my pan, and we'll start. Okay, so that little taste of the batter, I know this is very dangerous, but I think I'm going to add a tiny bit, just a tiny bit of orange extract, because I'd like it to be a little more orangey. I know we're going to have, the Grand Marnier on it, but just a tad, really, just a drop or two. And that's all we need. Extract's pretty strong, so when you use it, ooh, I smell it now. You really should use it very, very sparingly. Except, of course, for vanilla, because I always say, double the vanilla, double the vanilla. But for other extracts, man, I would keep it, very, very light touch. Very, very light touch. Okay, now I'm going to taste it again. That's really good. All right, now I'm going to get my pan. Okay, here's my little pan. Is that not the cutest thing? So that's what they're going to look like. They're going to be so pretty. So pretty. So, grease and flour this pan. That's my worst job in the world. I totally know that. So I use Baker's Joy. Pam also makes a product. I have some of that too. And you just spray it right in there. Shake it up. Yep. There we go. Okay, now we are ready to put our cakes in these little holes. So we don't want to fill them up all the way. We got to give them a little bit of room. Remember, we put a lot of baking powder, baking soda in there, so it is going to rise. So let's not fill it all the way. A little much in there. It's going to give it a little bit of room. We want, we want them to sit flat. So if they come out and they are domed on the bottom, we're just going to take a knife, we're going to slice it off. Slice it right off, because we want them to sit flat and look pretty on a plate as we serve them. So we'll do what we have to do. So I have a lot of batter here. So I'll get a few of these pans, which is really kind of cool. Which is great. Because when I have my English tea, I want to be able to have numerous things on the plate, but I don't want to have to make them all at the same time. So I'm going to have these. I'm looking at some other recipes. You know, when I was in England, they had this wonderful walnut cake. It was so good. So I'm going to find a recipe for that. So it'll be very, very similar to what I had. And of course, the little mini sandwiches and all that stuff too. Been kind of waiting for nice weather so we could sit outside for that. So guess what? It's here. It's here. Nice weather is here. Finally, finally. Okay. So I'm just trying to make sure it's full enough, but it's not too full. We really don't want them to be, you know, over full here. And don't worry about them being perfect in there. As that butter melts, you know, it will spread more evenly in the little tin. And we can rotate it a few times if we want, just to make sure things are going as expected. But okay, I think we're here. And you know what? We're going to be making multiple pans here. So if I don't get this one right, I'll get the next one right. You got to learn to forgive yourself. And, you know, we're all learning, right? Life is a learning experience. Thank goodness for that. Otherwise, it'd be very boring. Okay, all right. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to put these in the oven. We're going to watch these carefully. We don't want to overdo them, but we want to make sure they get done. And we don't want them to dome too much. So I'm going to cross my fingers and toes. Okay, you too. Thanks. So, okay. So for some unknown reason, I lost my audio in this section. So here is my Laura Leopard voiceover for this section. So I made my little cakes and they did dome up. So I did have to take a knife and just slice off the little bottoms so that they would sit nice and flat. So that's not a problem. Then I started preparing my glaze. And the glaze started with that orange juice, where we juice that orange, about a quarter cup of fresh orange juice, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, and then 1/2 cup of Grand Marnier, or, you know, some other orange liqueur that you might want to add. But Grand Marnier is, you know, pretty darn good. So I'm measuring that to put right in the pan. And then we're going to heat this pan up. Oh, yeah, that's good stuff. Absolutely. Okay, so the glaze is now, the recipe said just to cook this until the sugar dissolves, but I really want to cook the alcohol out, because when I tasted it, you could really taste the alcohol. But this has been cooking now for quite a while. And what I want is the flavor, but I don't want that booziness. So I think we're there. I think we're there. So I'm not getting that alcohol bite. It's been cooking now long enough to get that alcohol out of there. So I'm going to take my little brush, and I'm going to brush all of these cakes with this glaze. And it said to really put them on warm cakes, but I've had to do 2 batches here, so one's a little warmer than the other, but that's okay. That's okay. Oh, these are going to be good. These are going to be very, very good. And what this glaze is going to do, it's adding extra flavor. It's also adding a little extra moisture too, right? So be careful not to add too much because it's going to soak in. And you want this to be a cake, not a pudding. So, be careful about that. I put a lot on the top, so I'm just going to sort of brush the sides now so that they get a little bit of it as well. Lord knows I got a lot left, so. Okay, y'all, it's that time. I was totally going to make whipped cream. I have a whole thing whipping cream in there. I said, forget it. I'm busy. I used Ready Whip. Ready Whip's good. No problem. Look at my little cakes. So now I'm just going to put a little orange wedge on the top of each little cake. I did have to trim off the bottom because they all kind of domed up. Really didn't matter how much dough I had in there or not. But they all domed. But that's fine because they're still going to be good. It's still going to be great. And there you go. Beautiful. So I have 9 here. So that means I'm going to take one. I'm going to taste it so you guys can see me eat it. Okay, you ready? Yeah, that's pretty darn good. And they're so cute. They're so cute. I love it. I love it. So, I hope you make them. I love the orange flavor. I love it with the whipped cream. Oh, it's really delicious. So, bon appetit. See you next time. Go to almost-martha.com for the recipe. It's also in Southern Living. I'll give you the link to that. But really, really good. Really, really good. I hope you try it, and I hope you come back to Almost Martha, where we'll look at another recipe next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye.